Hey,
Well,
hold on.
We're live.
Wait, hold on.
The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
We are back on a Monday. What's up, guys? We are now back in our normal confines. It is the Bostonian versus the book on a Monday. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault. We are now back where you normally have us. I got to get used to this. I got a couple of days of not running this stuff, and now I got to run it all over again. I'm like, I know I hit wrong buttons. I'm going live before the countdown. It's a mess. We got a lot to get to. James Santor from Rhythm will come on in. What's not a mess is that Rhythm's been crushing it during the first and second round of the tournament, and it's been very interesting to see how their models are playing out, because right now everyone betting this tournament, they're getting, well, if you're a public bettor, meaning you bet with the side everyone thinks is going to go, books have been getting killed. No one's crying for bookmakers here on the Bostonian versus the book, especially this bookmaker, one Mr. Dave Sharapan. How are you, sir? Happy Monday.
Hello, sir. It's good to see you. Feel like we've been adjoined at the hip for like 5 straight days, getting everything ready. You got my daughter to tell me she had a tattoo. You get people to talk. That was pretty good.
Didn't get her to do that. She just did that on her own.
Dinner after was fun.
It
I can
was.
tell you that. Yeah, the dinner after was a good time. But the shows were great. We had great guests. Everything went off without a hitch. Late arrival of the connection on Thursday had us a little bit, but got to thank everybody that came out and saw us and watched the shows on the YouTube channel. You guys, we got over 2,000 subscribers. At symbol Boston versus the book. Make sure you do that. Hit the like button every day if you're watching the show live. That helps us too, apparently. We got this new thing with the shorts. There's shorts on there now. There's a community page. You put together an unbelievable summary, a video summary of all the clips
from last week, yeah.
Metcalf and JY. And what is that behind you there? What is that?
That is the new expanded version of the Roger Long.
Look at that.
Put together.
Look what he did there.
I got to do something with that. I'll do something with the tape. I'll figure that out, how to get non-reflective tape or something. So it's not
shiny. Yeah.
A little shiny. So maybe you guys can see it a little more clearly. Yeah. Everything was broken down, taken down, and removed. I had to rebuild this entire room when I came back. Not everything's in the right place. Not everything's in the right spots. I got a different situation going on here. So I was like, how do I do all this? So just FYI, there may be some moving around over the next couple of days to get this thing kind of back to where you want it to be. It's kind of like if your mom came and cleaned your room and everything got moved around, you got to put it back to where you want it to be. It's kind of like that. I got to figure out the lights and how do they get where they're supposed to be and everything else. So
I hate when that happens.
It's a little bit annoying. So trying to figure.
Like when they touch my stuff.
Oh, I am a big, Thankfully, I mean, now that I live with just my daughter, I don't have to worry about that. But that was one of my number one, like with the ex-wife, that was the thing of like, don't touch it. Just leave it. Just leave it alone. I know where I put it. When you move it, problems happen. Keys, wallets, anything that you think is out of place, it actually isn't. I put it there for a reason. Like, just leave it alone. That was always a very, very large contention point. Don't like my stuff being moved. Just Yeah, I'm one of those people on that. We will get to this. Well, we can get to it now, John, if you want. I mean, actually, I didn't put it on the rundown, so it's on the bottom line underneath us on the ticker. With Darren DeVries getting the job at West Virginia, 5 years, leaving Drake, taking Tucker with him, taking his son with him to West Virginia. Stunned is the first word that came to mind. I was shocked.
Why?
He has no ties to West Virginia. He has no ties to West Virginia.
Yeah.
He has ties to the Big 12. I thought if he was going to leave, there would be like a, I don't know, Oklahoma State type job, like something in the middle of the country, not on, the middle-ish part of the country. And it's a tough place to recruit to. I mean, West Virginia it's a hard place to recruit to. You gotta do a lot of work there to make that program go. And Tucker coming with him, it feels like he's trying to elevate Tucker and give him a chance to play in the Big 12 for a year to get him drafted, like what happened with Doug McDermott. So not to say he's taking a job just for his son, but my first blush was, well, okay, senior year for Doug. When Doug was a junior, Doug went from the from the Valley Creighton team to the Big East Creighton team. He became the National Player of the Year because he played in the Big East. If he was in the Valley, he probably wouldn't have won that award. So Tucker's a senior, going to play now in the Big 12. He's the time Larry Bird, Missouri Valley Player of the Year. If he goes and dominates like Doug dominated the Big East, if he dominates the Big 12, not only will he be drafted, but he could very well wind up being the Naismith Player of the Year, which is what Doug McDermott was during his senior year underneath Greg McDermott when he was at Creighton. So there's a lot of parallels there to the two sides. And I'll be very curious to see how they do. Because if he wins in game one or in year one, everything will be fixed. Like the Creighton Blue Jays in their first year in the Valley, first year in the Big East, went to the Big East final, in the tournament final. They lost to Providence, but they went to the final. And then from there, recruiting you heard Coach Lutz talk about it. Like we had Doug McDermott, give him the ball, get out of the way, right? Easy offense. Tucker could be a similar situation. So I'll be very, very curious to see how they do in year number one. If he wins out of the gate, everything's beautiful and everything will be perfect. If he doesn't, I don't know.
Just got the job. Relax.
This is college basketball now, Dave. You don't get more than years. There's no relax.
They're at the bottom of the Big 12. They're good. That's a good hire. I'm going to get B-How on hopefully tomorrow.
Is it a good hire? I don't know if it's a good hire. I love D-Rock. It's a great hire for Darren. It's a great hire for the DeVries family. If I'm a West Virginia fan, I'm not sold that this is the best we could have done. Yes, he went to the tournament 3 times in 4 years. But schools like West Virginia, you kind of have to have some tie to the region. It's hard to recruit there. It's not easy. It's like Pittsburgh. It's not easy to recruit there. It's hard to recruit to those parts of the country. So you got to find a coach that knows where to look and a coach that has ties to the NIL world and boosters that want to provide money and want to help these kids come. West Virginia was horrific this year. They were a great bet against all year. Now they fired their coach and everything else that went on, but Huggins won there because he's Bob Huggins. But who before him and after him, it's going to be hard. So great for the DeVries family, great for Tucker. But if I'm a West Virginia fan, I definitely go, okay, let's see what happens.
We got the Longs in the chat.
Both?
Roger, Papa,
nice,
and Nate is in here monitoring. And Roger said it's an interesting hire. There it is. Look at Nate. Boy, man, oh man, look at that picture. I love when you guys pop in a comment. P-Roll brings it up on the screen. Get that avatar in order so everybody sees it on the national TV too.
AOWN. Des Moines, the MVC isn't easy to recruit to. Okay, I'll give you that. Now, Tucker has been a very good player for him for 3 years. He's gone to the tournament 3 of 4 years. Went to the tournament the first year without Tucker. I'll give you that. But then 3 years with Tucker, has gone to the tournament 2 times. So this was the question for Greg for a long time. All right, you're winning with your son. Can you win without your son? Greg clearly has in the Sweet 16 for the 3rd time in 4 years. We'll get to that game a little bit later on. But can you go and build that level of success at the next level. There's always this question. There's plenty of coaches that have great success at the mid-major level, and they get that next chance, and they get the contract, they get the bag, and things don't always work out the way that you want it to. So, yes, he's recruited the Midwest. Yes, Darren DeVries is an Iowa native. You guys may not know this, but the DeVries family, his brother played for the Lions. They're royalty in Iowa. Like, everyone knows about the DeVries boys. Like, they're just like, you walk in, if you're over the age of 40, you're like, oh, I know about the DeVries boys because they dominated sports in the state. So it's easier to recruit when you have ties like that. He's going to a place where he has none of that. None of that. So
I think he'll be all right.
We'll see. I hope he's good. I mean, I love D-Rock. He's an unbelievable guy, awesome basketball mind. Spent years waiting for the shot under Dana Altman, got it at Drake, proved himself, and now gets the head coaching job that I think most coaches would love to get. I mean, it's it's a huge deal. Woo! I don't know if I believe with that. The only reason why Huggy Bear was successful is he's a cheat.
Oh, coming in hot, Johnny Parlay.
Ooh.
JR33312.
Don't know if I agree with that. Bob Huggins is a good coach. He's a good basketball coach. You guys remember we're back on this time, so super chats are available again to be read. We know a bunch of you guys dropped super chats on Thursday and Friday. Thank you. We appreciate it so much.
I'm going to recognize those tomorrow on the show if we can.
Can you?
The super chats that we missed on Thursday and Friday. I just want to mention.
How can you find them? I looked. You can't find them. They're gone.
No, you watch it. We watch the show on the YouTube channel. You can see.
Oh, okay. See them on replay. Okay, see them on replay because I went and tried looking for them. I was like, you can't find them in the rundown. They're not there.
I know there was Nate O'Shea and
Yeah.
JPC the fourth, and Chef Benny dropped a couple. Mikey Awesome dropped one. I mean, we'll get them all.
Yeah. So
we saw them, but there was a lot of moving parts.
It was chaos. So live shows are tough for us to get to, but today we're back so we can do super chats. If you guys have questions or games or breakdowns you want us to get into, we will do that. I'll save you this. I know you guys want baseball. I got two teams to break down this year for baseball. We're going to sprinkle a couple of teams in every day. We're not going to do like we've done with football, where like 30 teams in 30 days. We're not going to do that, but we're going to talk periodically about different teams as we head towards opening day this week. So if you want a team, you can recommend it. We may not get to it today, but you can say, hey, guys, break down, I don't know, the Mariners. And we will do that.
You could put it today and tomorrow. We could and drop them in there and then, let us do the work. I got to do the work. I mean, I was so focused on those live shows. I got more baseball work to do.
I got a lot of work done last night. I did a ton on it last night. So I got.
Well, you know what work I got done last night?
What?
I mean, you see this one?
Oh, the hats. Yes. My gosh. Did you ever?
Dear Lord. I went and saw.
How many did you make yesterday?
Bet the over for today's show. I'm going to try to keep track, and I'm going to sprinkle them in.
These are hats that are being sent out, right?
These were hats that they sent to the chat or sent to the text line for the BPS.
Right.
702-570-8255. People saw the hats from Resorts World, the BVB March Madness meetup hats. And then some people got creative.
Did they ever?
And came up with some other ones. And I mean, I'll run these real fast before we get to James. I mean, this is the Chef Benny collection. Okay, this is a multicolored, like Raiders, gray tri-panel. That one there.
A snapback?
This is a snapback.
Okay.
Yeah, Chef Benny actually sent me the hats.
Oh, wow.
This has a black underbill.
That everyone loves.
So he sent this one. This is the red, white, and blue.
So I would say that's a Chicago White Sox old school throwback.
Kind of, but he had Patriots in mind, red, white, and blue colors.
Oh, I see Chicago White Sox in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one there.
The old guy with the baseball, the old school logo for the.
Yeah. Then he got creative with this one.
That's the Charlotte Hornets one.
This has that's exactly what it is. It's purple.
Yep. That's the Charlotte Hornet logo. Charlotte Hornet model. Yeah.
And then he got real creative.
This next one is wild.
Well, no, this was I saved that one for last.
Okay.
This is a basic.
Yeah.
All white, black bill.
And my only critique to that is I would have put that in Patriot colors.
Put a little FEA on the side.
Yeah, I would have red, white, and blue. I would have done that in red, white, and blue, or in some red, white,
FEA.
And some
looks pretty good on there.
It does. Look up an old show if you guys don't know what FEA stands for.
Yeah, and then he went crazy with this one. Like
now, he sent you this hat. He sent you this hat, right?
He sent me this hat.
Look at this thing. This thing is.
I got to get this one on right here. Let's
I was like,
see.
that's not a lids hat that I remember ever seeing. Look at that thing. Look at that hat. That is unbelievable.
I wore this one. The ladies wore it. They
Chef
love
said
this
my
one.
favorite one.
Yeah.
Oh,
This has a crazy underbill and then top. And then I'm going to need each one of these. That is a beauty. You're absolutely right. You guys reach out to the text line right there. I don't know what this guy created. I got a couple more inspired collection from him. I'm going to leave this one on right now. We'll leave that one on. You guys like that one? Yeah, we'll leave that one on.
Yeah.
Chef Benny, these are game worn now. I don't know if that makes them go up in value. These are actually game worn on the show. Honolulu inspired. Yeah. Little.
Oh, if you're going to Hawaii, I mean, if you're going on vacation, you're going on Hawaii. I mean, that thing is, people will come for, people will come run at you. We're like, what is that hat? Where did you get that? And what is that hat?
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So that's what I was doing while you were learning how
What wedding? What wedding are we talking about, Rocky? You getting married? Rocky's getting married? What wedding are we talking about?
Rocky, what?
Oh, he needs to make it to the wedding. Which wedding?
This weekend? Are those guys coming?
Oh, they
Vegas?
are coming this weekend. Yes.
This weekend?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are coming this weekend. Yeah. That's
you wear
true.
Hats to the wedding?
What's
Rocky?
FEA? BH? I can't tell you what FE.
Stay for bonus time.
I'll tell you the Tom Brady documentary, in case you don't know what FEA stands for.
We'll tell you in bonus time.
Yeah.
Stay around. Watch the show. Just watch the show.
Yes.
I'll tell you.
FEA is, well,
yeah,
it's kind of the mantra for the show. In some ways.
I don't want to say it. We gave Will a break for a couple days.
We
didn't
did.
have to swear too much. Then
We did. He was appreciative of that because we were on late for Sports Grid for the replay on Sirius XM and Sports Grid TV. Normally we give him the show at like 4:00 Eastern. We gave him the show at 9. We're like, hey, here you go. Get it ready to go. Flip it around. Got to get it up and
turn it around by 1 a.m. Yeah.
So
thank you to Will's kids for letting Daddy work late.
Definitely.
Got the show late.
Very nice of you to do that.
Yeah. Put them in the chat. There you go, Nikki. Tell them. That's what FEA means.
Yes, it's in the chat. Okay, so let's do a quick story, and then James is here, so let's get to him here in just 1 second. But we got to get to it because it could happen.
Probably has a perfect bracket after.
Oh, but Rhythm's been killing it. Yeah, we got some stats to show you. Rhythm's been just some people who are absolutely destroying the books right now with Rhythm models. It's pretty wild, but there is the potential of a big event. It could happen during the show, so I want to start it off with that. Okay, so Otani watch for today is a big deal. There's a big Otani watch going on today.
Everybody's watching. Even Jessica's watching.
Yeah. He will give a press conference today at some point in Los Angeles before the team plays this, third to last spring training game about what's going on involving him and gambling. Now, do you agree? This is my opinion. He's going to give a written statement. No questions answered. Get up and walk off the podium.
There is no chance he's answering questions.
Agreed. It's
no
going
chance.
to be.
Not that, like everybody wants him to. What's he going to say? This is a federal investigation.
Here's where we are. Okay. This is from CNN.com to tell you who's covering this story. This is not good. Okay. The interpreter told ESPN in a Tuesday interview arranged by Otani's rep that he asked Otani last year to pay off his gambling debt. Otani had no involvement with his betting, according to the interpreter. After the interview, Otani's spokesperson disavowed that story. Then they released a statement saying Otani had been the victim of a massive theft by the interpreter. On the same day, the interpreter was seen smiling in the LA dugout and talking to Otani before translating for the Stars team's win over San Diego, game that counted, in the Seoul Series in South Korea. Last Wednesday, the interpreter was then fired by the Dodgers after learning about the allegations against Otani and the interpreter. MLB on Friday announced it would pursue an active investigation. The IRS also confirmed it was investigating the translator for where the hell did he get the money to pay off $4.5 million. The rumors are flying. I'm not even going to put them up on the screen, Dave, because I can't believe people are really taking this seriously and running with this, but you don't think we're going to get involved with a game-fixing scandal with Otani, do you?
I have no idea.
I don't. I mean, I don't.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's. I would be absolutely stunned, fall down stunned, that a guy of his caliber would ever be involved in anything like that.
No, I don't think so. But there's going to be rumors. I mean, there's this guy. You had a tweet run yesterday.
I did.
Almost got 1 million impressions.
Yep.
This guy. What the hell is his name?
Timmy, don't even give him the credit. It's got 1.2. He has 1,100 followers, and it got ran because he's accusing Otani of throwing a game in multiple hundreds of $1,000 bets coming in on a game that he pitched back in 2022.
Yeah, Smokes. That's part of his handle.
Yep.
Put out some ridiculous thing pointing out his bad games. And supposedly there were bets, but he didn't even get the math right on the bets. Like a bookie's going to take the bets that could cost him $25 million and literally break him for 6 lifetimes. Like It's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I woke up early because I had to get the packages and stuff ready for the hats, and I sent out the first batch, and I was up and I was listening to the shows back east, the morning shows back east that maybe don't know gambling, talk about this like there was some legitimacy to this rumor. There's no legitimacy to any of that crap.
Well, you're giving it more by talking about it publicly. You're just fanning the flame. Like you're just without having any real evidence. And again, Otani's not going to say much today. The question's going to be whether or not Otani will be suspended by Major League Baseball. Because if the federal government is investigating you and MLB's investigators come calling and you say, I'm not talking to you because I'm concerned about what I might say with federal investigators who are on this case, you may take that information and give it to them. So I'm not talking to you. Major League Baseball can suspend Otani for that. This is an IRS story. It's a legal story. It's a baseball story.
It's not a gambling story yet because it's not Otani gambling. The guy next to him,
the interpreter,
every sentence to him,
right?
Driving to and from the ballpark with him. If he was gambling, then it becomes a real gambling story because he said he was not gambling on baseball.
Right. What do you make of the theory? And we'll bring on James here after this. What do you make of the theory that if he was betting with an illegal bookmaker, Otani had to have been the one to green light it, saying, I got it. I'll pay off the debt. Whatever he loses, I've got it. Because the guy, what bookie would take that much money for a guy who's only making $500,000 a year?
There's reports he was making $85,000 a year. There's reports he's making up as to $500,000 a year. But if you're the guy taking the bets, you see him on TV next to this guy every day. Right. If the guy, interpreter, Ipe, says, listen, I got the money. I'll get the money if I need to get the money. He could tell him whatever story he wants until one of them tells us what the story was, which they may never. We don't know. But if he says, yeah, he's my guy. I'm good for it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to win it back anyway.
If Otani admits to wire transferring to pay
$100,000 a game, who knows?
The problem is Otani admits that he wire transferred that money to cover illegal gambling wagers. That's a federal offense.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know,
I mean, that's a federal offense.
If the Ipe did it without telling him, put his name on it, it becomes a theft. I don't know.
Which is worse? If you're the interpreter, would you go to jail for a guy? Because Otani might be facing a lot of, real jail time. And the IRS doesn't fool around.
I'd be hard pressed to see that happen. There'll be
either
this
one.
Guy's gonna, everybody's talking about him being a fall guy. He's the fall guy.
Boy,
who knows? You never know the situation until the time comes, right? Can you imagine? We're driving to the ballpark, me and you, and I go, hey, man, I just want to let you know, I'm stuck about 4.5 million.
How's that conversation go? Hey, by the way, I lost
Stuck about 4.5 million because
4.5 million.
I've been bad. Yeah, I've been
Everyone's saying,
bad.
how do you lose 4.5 million if you bet 100,000 a game?
Well, you bet 100,000 a game, and then you lose, and then you bet 200,000 a game, and then you lose, and you bet 500,000 a game, and you lose. That's 7.
Yep.
And you try to double that up. Let me bet $1 million. I'll make some back. I can't lose 4 in a row. Now you're stuck 1.7. Now you're buried. Now the guy owns you. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's 300,000 to 500,000 per year. It still doesn't matter though, TBW, in terms of how much money.
I don't know what to believe anymore. The guy said he went to Cal Riverside. There's no record of him going to Cal Riverside.
Isn't that crazy? In the Angels press guide, it says he went to Cal State Riverside, and they called Cal State Riverside. He said, we have no record of this person ever attending our university.
We don't know who Ipe is. Yeah.
Who is this guy? I don't know. Who is this?
What are we doing here?
So now where did he come from? Like, who hired him? How did he get the job? How did he get close? How did he get this close to the biggest star on the planet? Uh-oh. So we'll watch that when and if that press conference happens. If there's anything to bring you from information standpoint, we will absolutely go ahead and we will do that. Let's get talking some basketball. Big weekend of college hoops. Our guy James Santor from Rhythm joining us here. We missed him on Friday.
Sixers thing?
Yeah, Embiid's almost back, so I'm almost back in.
Oh, they go beat the Clippers yesterday, and you're back. You're all the way back now, huh? How's that?
Look, I found this guy on Poshmark that was just selling like the nicest Sixers stuff for so cheap. So I'm gonna be wearing Sixers stuff the next 7 weeks, and I'm okay with that.
I don't blame you. Like, it was crazy because I don't shop for like Costco clothes, but I was at Costco over the weekend, and they had these awesome golf shirts for like $13, and I bought like 5 of them. I was like, if you're gonna have a $13 nice golf shirt, sometimes you just gotta buy it, right? Sometimes if the price is right, just buy it.
I'm addicted to Poshmark, man. I swear to God, I have all this retro sports gear I find on there that I'm like, 6-year-old me would have loved this, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy this now.
Text me the link. I need a link. Santor, text me the link after the show, please. I need this link.
You're gonna have to. This Poshmark finds you got to pay for these, bro. You just got these for free.
Yeah, I will pay.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I will absolutely.
I pay. Send me the link because I like this. I like the throwback stuff.
I'm gonna get your sizing, and I'm gonna start finding stuff for you and like curate.
Oh boy, here we go.
Look at that.
Boy. Don't
look at that.
Well,
the hats look great, by the way, guys.
Oh, thank you. But speaking of curated, let's talk a little bit about what you guys have been doing here with Rhythm, because it's been pretty impressive to see what you guys have been able to accomplish here. 27-32 on bets in the first round with somebody using Rhythm. That's given where people are right now and given where the books are right now. Let's get into it. How have things gone for the tournament for you guys?
Well, you just saw that. I mean, I tell you what, as a guy who has to manage all the social media, when you wake up and you see somebody that tweets you that, you're like, it is going to be a good day. So 27-5 is pretty damn good. We had another dude went 8-2 on the first day. Just in general, like the brackets. Like we predicted 43% of brackets to have the Oakland upset, which if you consider how big of an upset that was, like that's pretty damn impressive. But between the bracket generators themselves and then just the people having so much success on the betting side too, it's been a great few days. I mean, personally, I had JMU, NC State, Duquesne, and Grand Canyon all predicted by my Rhythm models. So and we gave those all out too. And yeah, JC from KC absolutely crushing it. Again, another guy. I see this dude pop into my in the mentions. I'm like, God, this is my guy. And again, I have to see his Chiefs hat every single time, and it hurts my heart a little bit. But then I'm like, you know what? I like him anyway.
It's not personal. JC from KC, don't take it personal.
No, I'm saying, hey, I like you that much that I'm going to let the Chiefs hat slide. You know, that's big for me.
He
changed his avatar to the championship trophy, so he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, so things have gone great, and the cool thing is too, like college basketball is obviously, again, there's so many games, there's so much going on. We even have stuff for the CIT, the CBI, the NIT. So it's not just, the traditional March Madness games, but, any D1 basketball that's going on right now. Yeah. So again, there's so much to be betting on, and we're just trying to help people do so. And it's been great. Yeah. Good.
Isn't this when you really can take advantage? Because the NIT, CBI, and CIT games, these are not high profile games. So people aren't spending a lot of time watching the CIT, but there's markets up and you're available to go ahead and bet on it. And if you have, if the numbers pan out, this is where a model can help you, correct?
Apparently, JC from Casey's already seen the success today in these off games. I mean, to your point, it's the same thing that we've talked about before with when the WNBA comes back, or even against some of these smaller conferences, they're inefficient markets. And Rhythm literally just goes and finds you the inefficiencies on the lines for you and makes it really easy to just bet and hopefully, win off of that. So it's been cool for these last few days and all these games on, just to be able to have a voice and everything. But again, with NBA too, we had a guy, I think he messaged me, he's up 32 units, I think it was, an NBA player prop. So I'm like, a lot of people having success. It's music to my ears.
It helps kind of remove, like somebody asked me over the weekend, and I said, it removes your bias.
Yes.
And it will alert you to bets that you may not have been even aware to even try to attack. I mean, when you look at this today, there's college basketball games today, all right, in the CBI. It's in Daytona Beach, Florida, and somewhere called the Ocean Center. Cleveland State played High Point this morning. The game went over. The model had over. JC from KC had over. Stay hot, kid. Montana's playing Arkansas State. Some of these schools you don't even know they have a team. Chicago State and Fairfield later. Evansville and Seattle later. There's lines available. Inefficient markets. I think you were being kind, James. These are a lot of guesses. These are plain outright a lot of guesses. The model doesn't guess.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, again, this is something like this time of year is so great because you can be sitting at work or wherever you're at right now, and there's sports on. And when there's sports on and you don't know anything about Montana versus Arkansas State, but you want to still be able to be engaged to that game, again, Rhythm's there to help you do that. Like you don't need to be a Montana Grizzlies fan to be able to bet on this game anymore. No. You can use Rhythm to do so. And it's going to, again, if you are a Montana fan, you can also still bet on this game, but now you're going to have a little bit more data to help you actually do so. So it's definitely takes the bias out. Again, for March Madness, a lot of people, same thing with brackets. That's why our bracket generator worked for so many people. You don't have to worry about choosing teams based on who you think's actually good. We use the data to do that for you. And I have some great stats for the brackets too, because they did numbers for people so far.
All right, let's get those here in just 1 second. I want to pass along a story though, because you didn't make, if you came, you would have met Eric. Eric is our producer on site, a kid that is tremendous, and we've worked with him for many years. Out of the blue, he walked up to me and he goes, "Can I tell you something about Rhythm?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm killing it using Rhythm. And I'm telling everyone, this is unsolicited. This is nothing to do with any, this is just Eric coming to me and going like, tell James when you guys talk to him next that the thing is unbelievable. And I am absolutely in love with the NBA player prop model. He's been crushing it since you guys have put the graphs up. He said he's been absolutely crushing NBA player props.
It's amazing. Yeah, like I said, we had a guy that tweeted us last night. It's 57 and 32 over the last week. So again, I think it's really great because the predictions are awesome, but the utility being able to see stats in real time. Like I actually just like to see that as a fan. Like I've actually, like I know I didn't realize how much Mo Bamba's playing this year. Honestly, now I've realized Mo Bamba's playing way too much for the Sixers this year. But seeing his stats in the graph form, it's a great way for me to be like, okay, not only from a betting perspective, my understanding if again Bamba over under is a good bet or not, but I'm like, all right, now I have a better idea of how this guy's been playing. It's going to change the way I perceive the game, how the flow of the game is going to be played. So I personally enjoyed it a ton, but we've seen, again, player props have been so much fun for people. People win parlays all the time. They use it on Prize Picks. We have a celebrity chef that just started using us, and he's doing one of the, his name's Chris Bassett. He's doing he's doing one of the challenges, and he's on day 4 of the challenge. Let me pull this up. He's been winning so much money. It's amazing. So this guy's awesome.
That's fantastic. I mean, the other thing, so I looked at the NBA today, legitimately. Yesterday was really the first day I even looked at the games because you're so immersed in college basketball for the weekend. But there's 11 NBA games today, okay? There's only 3 that don't have a spread of 9 or more. There's only 3 games, and one of them is Brooklyn, Toronto.
I don't
And
bet
if
on
you
that.
got to bet on Brooklyn, Toronto, you really are studying. I know, P-Roll, you got the problem. I mean, this is what you have to do. I saw that the thing. I'm like, this is one of the games you have. The other one is Dallas at Utah, and that's because Dallas is on the road. And then Philadelphia at Sacramento is 9. Indiana's at the Clippers. Indiana and the Lakers almost scored 300 points yesterday. There's not a lot of stuff on the board now the rest of the way in the NBA. This is where the rhythm stuff comes in.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff every day.
Especially, again, for game picks for sure. And again, I'm more of a total points guy when it comes to NBA game picks. Like I have the Sixers on the Kings over tonight. Like I think it's pretty low. It's like
221 and a half.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm confident in the Sixers, and the Kings are pretty fast paced. High
At home, they're an over team.
Yeah. So, but I mean, at this point in the season, player props, right? Like, especially with rhythms being so good the last few weeks, like, it's my whole, like, again, I think I've explained this before, but the way I use them is I'll go through the player props. I'll see the top ones that are most recommended. I'll verify that if it's an over or under, that over at least 60% of the time it's hit. So that's what I do. I do that quick math in my head, looking at the graphs, and then I make the decision. And I've been hitting, again, over 55 to 60% since they've come out.
Let's talk about some of the stats that you've pulled from the bracket side of things with the tournament going on. Obviously, we've gone through the first 2 rounds. We're on the Sweet 16, the Elite 8 coming up this weekend. How are things going for you guys that way?
Yeah, so I got 2 stats from our CTO here. So the first is that 13 of 16 teams have at least 40% of brackets with that team advancing to go through the first weekend.
Wow.
So, which is pretty impressive if you think about that from a bracket perspective. Now, this one has to be the coolest stat that I've seen so far from our brackets. 92.7% of brackets have their predicted national champion still in the tourney.
Ooh, that's good.
That's
if you're in a bracket contest, that's important when you get to Sweet 16 weekend. That's good.
Yeah. So, and on top of just the volume of people that requested them, and we have some people that, again, like I said, the Oakland and Kentucky stuff, like we've had a few of the upsets predicted through our brackets. So it's been pretty cool. And again, just that 97.2%, that's where the money's made, is when we have numbers like that.
Now, if they haven't done this already, can they do it now? Because the games are harder. The games are I mean, the spreads have gotten a lot smaller. We saw some gigantic spreads in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
There's still game picks and stuff the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No more bracket stuff, just because at this point, again, we don't want to like reseed brackets or do anything like that. But game picks for the rest of the way, again, for March Madness, but also all the other tournaments going on too.
In terms of how you guys will go forward, someone's asking about pricing. Someone's asking about do you recommend that they do the 7-day trial first to see what they like? Is that the best way of doing it?
I recommend, like, unless you've really built models before, or you're really, really, a data scientist or somebody that wants that like intense data presence, like I'd recommend Core. Like, you get the ability to create models if you want to, but we also just give you all the best recommended bets and make your life a lot easier as a better. So for most people, I'd just recommend using the Core product. And again, start that 7-day trial, get a feel for the app. Especially, like, I mean, if you take advantage of timing, if it's Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning and you want to be able to bet on all the games this weekend and throughout the rest of March Madness, you should download Rhythm and use it for that. And then you can really see how good you like it. And you can use it for NBA games too. But yeah, 7-day free trial, and then it's $30 a month or $100 a month for premium. So
is there any model that we could come up with, James, that would predict the rest of the Celtics season, please? Because like they're one game, they clinched the East, they're 5 games away from clinching home court throughout all of it. Like, what the hell do we do with this Celtics thing? Like, this is going to be a problem.
You know what the problem is? It's not for us. It's for Matt, because he's going to have to watch the Celtics lose at home.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know, lose at home, but I mean, this is the problem. I mean, I'm not worried about anybody in the East, so it's just make your June reservation for the Celtics. But it's who comes out of the West and how long it takes Boston to get out of the East is going to be a big question and a big concern.
Yeah.
And then if it's Denver, forget it. Like it's just it's a 6-game series and
Like,
forget it. We're done.
Are the Nuggets? See, this is the problem with again being on the East Coast. I feel like, and maybe this is more of a West Coast issue than anything. I don't know how the Nuggets are doing. I'm assuming they're really good. I'm assuming Jokic is still like he's probably going to win MVP.
Yep.
But I'm not because Shea is also he's a
SGA's got a shot at winning MVP for sure. But I mean they're unbelievable at home. They're 28-6 at home.
Jeez.
Like you just don't beat Denver in Denver.
They've lost 1 or 2 games total since the All-Star break.
Yeah, they're
They're
8-2.
unbelievable.
8-2 over their last 10 games.
Yeah.
I mean, they really have the modern, like they are modern NBA. Like they've taken what the Warriors started and made it more well-rounded.
Yeah,
to make
with maybe the greatest big man in the history of the game. So
exactly,
they took the Warrior model and just added a complete unicorn in the middle of it and said, okay, let's go play like that. Like it's unbeatable. It's unbelievable. At this level, they're unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I had my first ever NBA courtside experience this weekend.
Where
was that?
It was in Washington. It was really, really cool. I was like, I came this close to getting drilled in the face with a ball, which would have been hilarious, and I would have been on TV. But
so you had feet on the floor.
Feet on the floor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how fast it is, right, James? Like when you're that close, and it's physical as hell, right?
I loved hearing the jawing back and forth. Like it was just hilarious. Like Kelly Olynyk was getting pissed. He was getting pissed. And the ref's name was James. And I'm like, he's talking to me. He's like, like James. You kidding me, James? I'm like, bro, I didn't do shit.
Right. Not
Leave
me.
me alone. Not me. I didn't do it.
It was cool though. You appreciate like it's crazy when you see size, athleticism, and skill all mixed the way that you do at that type of level.
In those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. And then our guy Kuz, he balled out and helped the Wiz get the W. So it was cool to again see it was cool to see a game like that. And yeah, Kuzma's again, he's a guy we're working with at Rhythm now. So it was cool to be, he's doing this bracket challenge with us, and then we got to spend a little time together there and got to see a Wizards W. So again, they don't affect the Sixers, fortunately. So it was nice to see the home team win there.
All right. So on Friday, we're going to talk to you again because that's your normal day with us on Friday. I'm going to warn you. Tennessee plays Creighton on Friday night.
Okay.
I'm going to be an absolute mess. I need like analytical breakdown. I need every angle you can find on that game for me to see, can the Jays get to the Elite Eight? Can they get past Tennessee? I'm shutting my phone off. I'm not talking to anybody. I got a future on Tennessee. I got a future on the Creighton Blue Jays. I'm getting a team to the Elite Eight out of that game, but I really want the Jays to win that game.
Is that a personal thing, or is it like where is the money? I get the money side like lied. Are they pretty much equal as far as what it would give you?
No, 30-1, 15-1. So the Jays are a much longer shot than Tennessee is, but I was the pre and post game show host for the Creighton Blue Jays for 5 seasons, and I ran their rival site for a decade.
Oh wow!
So
boy.
I'm really close to the Creighton Blue Jay basketball program. So like I bleed blue. And I was a mess over the weekend. Like I died 5 times during that game. It was because Dana Altman was the coach of the Creighton Blue Jays now at Oregon when I was there covering the Jays mostly in Omaha. So I had both coaches playing each other for the right to go to the Sweet 16. The game goes to double overtime. It was just, now I got to go with Friday. I mean, I love the Vols. I've been on the Vols all year. I've been talking about Delta Connect all year. And of course, the Jays run into Tennessee coming up in the tournament.
It's a good storyline for you though, man. Like you got to run with this. You're a winner no matter what. Just give it that way.
I am. All 6 of my future teams. I have 6 of the 16 left for future wagers. Unfortunately, they're going to start playing each other, which is not really what I like.
Making the bets, you can only win 1.
Right.
This is good. You're alive to the second weekend.
Oh no, I'm live. I'm live to the Final Four. I think with the teams I've got. I mean, I think Carolina's got a pretty easy road. Arizona. I have a future on Arizona and North Carolina. I'll be stunned if those 2 teams aren't playing over the weekend for the chance to go to the Final Four. Duke is the one that's got me all twisted around. I mean, that game against JMU, I did not see coming. Did you guys have JMU or Duke?
I didn't have JMU losing by 30.
38.
Yeah.
Biggest loss by a 30 win team in the history of the tournament.
Blowout.
Happens. But I see my whole thing with Duke, and I think I'm a Duke hater. I definitely am a Duke hater, actually. I don't know why I said maybe. I definitely am. I just hope they do bad every time. I hope that they have a horrendous. It's kind of like what I hope that happens to the Celtics, to be honest with you. Like the worst possible exit, the better for me. So I'm like,
more pain.
Yeah. So with Duke, I'm like, now it's like, oh, everybody's like, oh, Duke's the team. Now they're gonna lose by 30, and that would be awesome. So
I hope Houston scorches them. I'm with you.
That game was wild last night too.
Oh
That
my
was
gosh, was it
incredible.
ever? What a shed is just
I don't know how
ridiculous.
Texas A&M played their way back into it. With a minute left, they got all them points, and Houston could make a foul shot. That was incredible. James, what did you and Applebaum end up doing? I saw something with the tweet. We were busy with the live show because I didn't get to really see it to tell the people what you guys did.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we threw it together so last minute. So Josh launched a podcast last week that we're sponsoring. So it's called All Systems Go. Great show. So if you like data-driven sports betting, go subscribe to All Systems Go. Josh and I were like, we should just do a little live stream, talk about March Madness again, like everybody does them. And we went live. We got 1,400 people concurrent.
Nice,
baby.
Nice
It
job.
was awesome. I was like, that was just, for our first time doing it. But we just kind of went through the games, talked about what Rhythm had to say, talked about Josh's approach to things. And honestly, it's just fun. I can talk about basketball all day. So we felt like we did for 2 hours. But yeah, it was awesome.
Good stuff. We will talk to you Friday. Full breakdown with the NBA and all the games happening over the weekend. Thank you for coming on a Monday. Keep killing it. The Brigade loves you guys at Rhythm. Thank you for what you're doing with us.
See you, boys.
10-9-8 76ers.
We play the song, right? See you now. Bye. James will be back on Friday here for us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Oh, where did Dave go? Got to add Dave back in. I kicked you out, Dave. Sorry. Oh. On that. Hold on. We go there and we go there. Very cool. Great stuff with James. Good.
Forget all the buttons.
Yeah. Good job, Jason Casey. You've been killing it. Good stuff with that. So it's good. AOWN off to find the gender of baby O number 2.
Oh,
good luck.
Oh.
Good luck. That's always fun. All right. Very cool. Get to learn that. Did you guys do for any of your 3? Did you do a gender reveal?
No.
Yeah, we did.
No.
We did a cake. Cut into the cake. Was it blue or pink?
I got twins running my family. My dad was a twin and my sisters are twins.
So you thought
the first order of business was, is there one? I didn't care what else was involved. I needed to know if there was one. Because I'm the oldest brother, and I helped my mom a lot with the sisters. And then, there was a stretch there where my sisters and I were like this because I was the oldest brother playing the role of dad for a little while, and they didn't like it. But I was like, man, I can't do 2. We got guys in the chat that have twins. I wasn't ready. Every time I rolled the dice, I'm like, please, just Doc, sure, 1. Right? Yes. Woo. Okay. I need to know the rest. I'm good.
Oh. All right. Let's get to what happened over the weekend. You made reference to the tweet that I put out in the morning, and it was in reference to Reese Davis's comment on ESPN, in which during an ESPN bet segment, he called it a joke. I don't think it was a joke. I actually think it was a shot at ESPN for making him do gambling content by saying risk-free investment or investing. I'm sorry, investment. Yeah, the way you broke that down, it sounds like it's a risk-free investment.
Right.
If you go back to remember what happened with Barstool Sports and Big Cat, they had a can't lose parlay that they got hammered for. Penn
almost lost the license.
Penn is the license holder for that.
Right.
Penn is also the license holder for ESPN Bet.
Correct.
So the question is going to be, what happens with states like Massachusetts or New Jersey, who both held Barstool's feet to the fire? Are they going to hold ESPN's feet to the fire, which is arguably on a much bigger platform? Reese Davis clearly got called and tapped on the shoulder by somebody and issued the following apology on X. During a segment this morning on College Game Day, due to ESPN bets hitting yesterday, I joked the advice was, quote, more like risk-free investing. As we all know, there is no such thing, does not exist. Obviously, there are risks. I'm not a gambler. I strongly encourage those who do partake to do so with prudence, care, caution, fiscal and personal responsibility, and never overextend. Sports are unpredictable. Wagering is tricky. So let's agree to manage monetary risk appropriately. I'm sure most recognized my comment was tongue-in-cheek, just to clarify. No. Sorry. No. I don't think most people thought that was a joke. You made the person you were on air with, Erin Kate Dolan, uncomfortable. She started like nervously laughing, like going, "What did you just say?" And
They went right to commercial after that.
Cut. Right to commercial. The tweet I put out was, and I don't know what it's at. It's like 950,000 impressions it's up to now.
Yeah, we could go over a million.
I've never had a tweet go over 1 million, and we're about to go over 1 million today for that tweet. It just got into, well, however, algorithm, whatever. I said, look, we have to be careful if Reese Davis does not want to do gambling content, or if Reese Davis is not comfortable doing gambling content, or if Reese Davis hasn't been educated by ESPN as to what type of terminology you can and cannot use, you're juggling with knives. Like this is Russian roulette. You can't expect somebody who has no desire or interest in this to go in there and talk in a regulated market. He's talking to a gigantic audience, but he's doing so representing ESPN Bet, whether he likes it or not. He's representing the ESPN brand, but also the Penn license. If he doesn't know that.
Well, especially during that segment with Aaron.
Right. It's a pick segment.
I mean, it comes up, betting analyst.
Right.
You having her on, not to break down the triangle offense or the 2-3 zone. She's coming on to give you a play. You can't say, well, you weren't prepared for the betting analysis. Like, you just gotta, I don't know. You gotta be aware.
I think Jimmy Jack's question is relevant. It's the same one I had. Why was he on the show? Stick to the usual suspects for ESPN Bet. Stop airing random people from the company. It's not random people. Reese Davis is a top 3 talent.
He's on all the time. The guy's been working every day for at least a month.
I mean, he's the host of College Game Day, which is arguably the biggest brand they've got at ESPN. He's the host of College Game Day for basketball now. It's Scott Van Pelt, it's Pat McAfee, and it's Reese Davis. Those are your 3 biggest stars. You got Reese Davis doing this. He clearly doesn't want to do it. Like, to me, that's what that comment was, not to anybody else except like the higher ups. Like, don't make me do this. It almost felt intentional. Like, he's a smart guy. He knows what that would have done. It lit a forest fire.
I felt like, I know when I saw it, it was immediate cringe. I was like, that wasn't that you know.
It was Erin's reaction. Erin pulled back. She was like, wait. Like,
yeah, like that. No, it's not. And she's not in a position to say, well, it's not, Reese. It's not really a risk.
Right.
It's not really a risk-free investment. Hold on.
That's a very large talent discrepancy there. Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of the importance of the network. Yeah.
Right. But it was interesting to get a lot of different people's perspective. Everybody kind of saw that differently. I know my first reaction was like he was kind of making fun of having to do the gambling content, period.
I think that was, I agree with that. That after watching it a couple times.
It's a risk-free investment.
Yeah. It was like,
why are we even talking about that?
Right. It was like, why am I here?
I'm belittling the whole thing.
Agreed.
And he didn't mean it was risk-free. But there's ways of saying stuff that are not allowed now that it's regulated.
Right.
On platforms like that. And do you think that Massachusetts, New York, somebody's coming? Like that?
Yes.
There's repercussions from that, right?
Yes. I think there's too much smoke and fire now around this. I mean, again, my tweet was, I didn't even name Reese Davis. I just said someone at ESPN, and it took off. I mean, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing all day yesterday. It was ridiculous. I had to mute it. I finally muted it. I was like, I just muted it. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. No more. It got to 500,000. I was like, I'm done. That's it. I can't handle it anymore. And it just went and went. And like, there was like, 750 comments underneath. I have no idea what people were saying. I just stopped reading it. I was like, I can't keep up with this. And then Awful Announcing got the video. And when the video came on Awful Announcing, it went even more.
Woo!
So it really took off then. And there was an article that was written on Sports Handle this morning about it. And people are talking a lot about this. So yes, I think in the regulated space, the water cooler conversation on Monday morning was, what was Reese Davis doing? Why did he say that?
By industry people.
Right, but that's industry people, meaning people who work in regulated markets, meaning i.e. commissions that police gambling. So yes, I do think there's going to be a hearing of some sort where
anyone with those stipulations in their state can't not know about this.
Oh, it's everywhere. I agree. Mass knows. There's no debate in my mind. The Mass Gaming
100%
Commission knows.
they
There's a
know.
meeting
They're
today
right
about
there.
it saying,
Yeah.
They say, what do we do? Because you hit, how much did they find him? What, $500,000? What did they get hit with? It was bad, right?
I have to look. I
Penn
don't
got
remember.
hit pretty good for that Barstool thing.
Yeah.
You're right. They had a hearing about their license. Whether they're going to let them keep their license.
Yeah. That changed the way they could talk about things, to whom they could talk about. Remember, they talked about the advertising being not allowed in Fenway Park because under 21 people would see it.
And it also could have started the conversation in Penn internally about dropping Barstool and going to ESPN.
Because this wouldn't happen.
Because it shouldn't happen. Because we got responsible people now. We got the grown-up 4-letter network now. We got smart people. No one's going to do that. We got the big guys, not the little guys, the hoodlums running around. Nah, it's not Big Cat. We got Reese Davis talking about us now. Look at this. Got Reese Davis doing ads for us now. This is great. Whoops.
It's all bad.
It's all bad. And it's gone from bad to worse because it wasn't just that over the weekend. The Arizona Coyotes, this is still up. This tweet is still up today. Official account of the Arizona Coyotes. They're doing an event with Barstool betting. I don't care about that. But they're tweeting. It was 2-1 after 2. 2-1 Dallas. We need 1 goal for the tie. Stool Gambling needs 4 for the over.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's all blurred. The lines are all blurred. There's no more lines.
That's dangerous. This is
and I equated it to having a baseline. You chalk a field, right? We were just practicing, so there was no chalk. But when the baseline is gone, you can't tell what's fair and foul. There's no line. It's gone. This whole thing is happening at a light speed that I've said this before. I've seen this before. I am in a movie, but I'm in a sequel. A lot of people are seeing the original for the first time right now. And I'm going, what are we doing? Who's partners with who? This is the official team account. Official team account. There's probably 95% of the people that follow that team account don't even know what they're talking about. And it's now part of every single day's stuff.
Yeah, and someone wrote to me on X, Twitter, and they said, that's not a big deal. They do this all the time, coming in and out of the first and second periods. I said, that's wrong too. I go, that's not right. Well, like, what are we doing? If you have a gambling person, if you have one person designated as a gambling expert on your broadcast, okay, fine. You throw to that person saying, hey, what's going on in the market? Here's what's going on, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But on that thread of thousands of people retweeting and watching and looking at the tweet that I made was a pretty high profile play-by-play guy. I'll let him be named unless you guys can go look at it. But he just said, why are we doing gambling content at all? So get rid of all of it. Get rid of all the gambling content. Now, he's an older gentleman who's been broadcasting for one of the big 4 major sports for a very long time. But there are a lot of people who are getting very frustrated and very annoyed that they have to talk about things that they don't want to talk about because the suits are selling the advertising to these companies. And we're going to have more issues, more Reese Davis type stories, more bad tweets like this until we put up the guardrails and put up what is okay to do and what not to do. Because the Wild Wild West, and this is being talked about a lot inside of state houses around the country, there are a lot of people that are saying the Wild Wild West of letting these guys do whatever they want, whenever they want, has to stop. Because we're all going to look back on it. I told you this over the weekend, but I was just like fooling around looking at different things. And I stumbled upon old ads for cigarettes. And I was laughing my ass off because there was an advertisement done for a cigarette that said, we make you healthy. Smoke so-and-so. We'll make you healthy.
Yeah.
They actually were allowed to say smoking cigarettes made you healthy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so we've kind of reached that point in my mind when sports betting with advertising that like no one is seeing that in 20 years, we're all going to look back on it and go, what the hell were we doing?
20. I think in 2.
All right. Maybe in 2.
In 2 years. Yeah, because now the pullback's coming. Because the books are realizing, and this is for the industry, guys, because nobody watches the show. I just want to get that perfectly clear. This is for the industry guys that like to
800 people watching the show right now.
Oh no, nobody watches it. That's what they keep telling us, you know. And you don't have to be a industry insider to know this. The money's being pulled back. The books have realized that doing a lot of this advertising ain't working.
Right.
I don't need to be on this and on that. And they've saturated it to the point where it's not repulsive to people, but it's intrusive to a lot of people that just want to watch the game. And I don't care about the same game parlay that you got to give me in the second inning. And I don't care what the Barstool gambling group has for the third period for the game. It's becoming a little too much. For us in the space, I don't mind it. It's all noise. I've been listening to this, sorry, Will, bullshit for 25, 30 years. Talking about your bets, my bets, your bets. Matt, your picks suck. It doesn't matter. Like, the gamblers will find the information that they want from the broadcast or from not the broadcast. And now the advertising, if it dries up, I think you'll see less and less of it. Or
yes, there's no debate there. Yes,
it'll be state-controlled media, which is what's happening with their own books, have their own networks.
Right.
And you and I ain't got a shot. It's going to be tough because me and you tell the truth.
Oh, I disagree with that. I think we have more. I think we have more of a shot because I think people are going to clamor and demand it. I think people are going to demand the truth. They're going to demand honest.
I mean, having this show brought to you by X, Y, or Z.
That's fine. Book. I get it. I mean, look, and I've resigned to that opinion that most sports books are going to be uncomfortable with what we say, but there are books here,
but they don't have to be.
Yeah, but Resorts World's not. Circa's not. Westgate's not. There are books out there that are not uncomfortable with people talking about the game, talking about betting in a real way, talking about what actually are we doing and how are we trying to accomplish this. And there are people that will start to seek out the truth. And the ones that are not, you've always said this, are you a marketing company or are you a gambling company? Are you a sports book or are you interested in stockpiling just people's information to sell it? Like what is your goal here? Are you booking the games? In the books that are actually booking the games are the books that are going to come and go, we don't care what you guys say about that. Yeah, we're fine. We're taking bets. Let's go. The other ones are not.
I want to help promote the business.
Right.
You're seeing now it's coming to the surface. There's a lot of companies that are in the business that aren't care to promote the business. They're promoting themselves for different reasons.
Yeah.
We talked about this when Pass. We called it the Trojan horse. The sports betting is the Trojan horse in the door because they got that iCasino coming and all these people going around to all these wonderful panels.
They may have waited too long though, Dave.
What's that?
They may have waited too long.
This may hinder.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't gone more aggressively into the iCasino quickly because I feel like, what are you guys waiting for? Because that was always your goal. But if you're waiting for sports betting to get more popular or more accepted, I think you're going to really run into some trouble here.
Window closing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the Buffalo Bills here. Window's closing. Like you guys had a shot.
A lot of Bills catching strays today.
Yeah, that's how it is. Because it's just it's like, you were rolling, everything was great, and then all of a sudden things turn and Josh Allen's getting old. It ain't good. So it ain't good. So now you're trying to fight. It's the same thing. Okay. So that's the problem that I've got with this is I look at it and I'm like, you know what? I was like, if you guys are going to have the iCasino be the thing, you might want to push the gas pedal quickly because the more Reese Davis stories you get into, the less likely it is someone's going to be like, hey, you know what we need? More ways for a 21-year-old to lose money on their phone. Let's do that. That sounds like it's really cool. Let's find a way to do that, because it's a problem right now.
Well, you know what's happening too from an operator standpoint. And I only know this because I've been in the business for 25 years. So if anybody wants to question my, resume, it's hard to find it on LinkedIn. It's there, but I don't know who watches the show and who doesn't, but they're raising the tax rates at different states because they can, because them other states got it at the beginning. And states that had 10% are going, hey, guess what? We're not sure about this sports betting thing anymore, but we know we can charge you more. And if you don't want to stay, you can stay. If you want to leave, you can leave. It's fine. So word on the street is that places that may have 10% may go to 20. Some may go to 25 or 30. What's that going to do to the business? It ain't going to help the business. It's going to make it tougher to survive. And you know who's going to thrive in that situation?
The big boys.
Well, it's for the big boys to cut out the little guys. But guess who's still lurking in them shadows?
Yeah, your
in them
corner
places.
neighborhood bookie.
Man, Wetzel calls him Louis the Lip. That's not like Tommy the Lip, who was on the show.
Yeah, but those,
Tommy the Lip can't get a game right with the Clippers. I mean, I don't know what he did to that team, but there's places that are going to still do business of this business.
Let me address this quickly, because I think this is a good point. Why don't people talk about 20-year-olds wasting money on OnlyFans? Because the difference between sports betting and buying a subscription to a website is that there is a finite cost to subscribing to a person's OnlyFans. Say it's $20 a month. Okay. It's $20 March and $20 in April. Sports betting and gambling doesn't work like that. It's $20 today, $50 tomorrow, $100 that you just won yesterday or 2 days from now. Then it's $500. Then you lose $250. The fluctuation's the problem. The volatility's the problem. That's what people who get addicted to gambling, that's the problem with it. The roller coaster ride, the ups and the downs. It's hard to do. Okay. That's what causes a lot of people to have issues. And I've addressed this myself on the Daily Juice and other things. It's like one of the biggest problems I have with what I do on my other podcast is that I can go 3-1, 3-1, and no one says a word. I go 0-3, and I get hate messages from people in my DMs.
Oh, yeah.
And like that, sorry, Will, that fucks with me and my mood really bad, because no one takes it worse. I was the same way in sports. Winning to me was always just that. Losing killed me. I remember the losses. I never remember the wins were just there. We won. That's great. Next game. Let's go. I never got caught up in it. It was always about the next game. It was all about winning. We're supposed to win. I always felt like when I was on the field, I was supposed to win. So winning is what I'm supposed to do. Losing sucks. So like people were like, just let it roll off your back. Who cares? They're morons. They are morons. But when I am losing or I've lost, I'm losing myself. I'm losing money. And it hurts me because I'm like, damn it. I should have done this. I should have done that. And then somebody comes in and starts throwing the verbal and written javelins at you. And you're like, do you think I meant to do that? Like, I think I intentionally lost money yesterday. Is that what you're trying to imply?
You work
like
for the books.
That was on purpose? Like,
yeah, you work for the books.
Like, so it's annoying as holy hell for me. Like, and I said it yesterday publicly. I was like, I love doing this daily podcast. I've been doing it for 3 years, but if I ever quit, the reason why I will quit doing it is because of the 0-3 DMs that I get from people who, for whatever reason, feel like nameless, no avatar, create an account. One guy created an account yesterday on Instagram just to write me a lengthy email about how much he hates me.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was had just been created. You go look at the guy's account. He had just created it. And I'm like,
how was his writing? Was it good?
No, it was, full of typos and whoever. It was this typical ranting of a lunatic. But like, that's just what this space attracts.
Oh,
and it's very frustrating. And like I said, I take the losses way worse than I take the wins. The wins are what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to win. Oh, I'm a gambling expert, which I never call myself that anyway. I'm just a guy with a podcast. And that is a symptom of what's always been there that negativity, that nastiness has always been a part of betting. You've seen it for many, many years, but now we just amplified it to like an nth degree. Like we've taken it to a different level now.
I say it all the time in this space. You have to learn how to lose before you know how to win. This is never more evident in this space, in the content space, because you only hear when you do bad. And I used to say that in the book. Like, it used to drive me crazy. We would win 28 days in a month, and the bosses would send an email or something that 2 days we lost. What happened last night? What happened last night? And I used to say to them, tell them to come in this room, and I'll tell them.
Right.
I'll tell them exactly what happened. And they ain't going to like it because you ain't said nothing when we're holding 8% this month. And you're going to ask about the Tuesday that we lost because the guy hit a 6-teamer for a dime that we couldn't overcome. Shut up. Don't. It's a negative. It's a win-loss. It's a zero-sum game. There's winners and there's losers. So people, you don't know how to handle it. And it used to, I got to the point, the business definitely beats out the emotion out of you. Metcalf said it the other day. He was watching Florida play, and they went ahead on an unbelievable, and he went,
He didn't care.
That's what you do in the risk room. You sit there and you go, oh, look, grade that game. We just won $128,000 on a game. You're waiting for the next loss. You're waiting for this. You're waiting for that. You become numb. I don't ever want to become numb again. Since my stroke, I'm like this every day. You guys that know me got to meet me. I'm like this every day. My wife is like, what the hell is wrong with you? I love life. I want to love life every day. Don't let that small crap get to you.
Oh, no. Yeah. I had to.
You wanted to bring somebody on the show.
Yeah,
fight him.
Absolutely.
Come on the show.
Trying to tell me that I was leading people astray like Reese Davis. And I was just like, come on the show. I was like, take off the fake avatar and come on the show. Absolutely. Please come on. Let's talk.
Or
tell me how I have ever done that, which is the antithesis.
I like to have them invite us on their show. I'll come on your show.
I doubt he has a show, but I'd love to go on their show too if he had a show. Let's go.
Invite us together. We'll come together on your show. We'll find time. Because
100%. We're make busy. Time. I'll make time.
Yeah. Oh, but if you want us to talk, we could talk, but you're more than welcome. It's an open invitation to come on this show. If you got something to say, we'd love to hear it. Let's go. We're here every day, like Nike, every damn day, Monday through Friday. It starts just after 11 Pacific, 2:00 Eastern. You can find it on national platforms, on Sports Grid TV, on Sirius XM Radio 159, on podcast form, wherever you get podcasts, Spotify, podcast app, Podbean, all them other things. And live every day on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book or at Boston versus the Book on Twitter, where there's almost 1,000 people watching it right now. Just in case you can't find us, I just want to let you know where we're at. Like everybody just calm down in the space about, you don't know this, you don't know that. I love when they tell me I don't know because I'm a student. I love to learn. I'm the first one to say nobody knows shit because
they don't like that though because they think they know.
Well, that's fine.
They get real mad.
They too.
That's their big mad with you. They get mad when you say that publicly, and it's an affront to their personality and to their whole everything. Dave, you don't mean me. You don't mean me, Dave. You mean everybody else. Like, you're not talking about me, right?
I mean, no. Everybody relax.
Yeah, that word, anyone, everyone, no one gets them all bent out of shape.
Yeah.
I know. I know something.
Hi, Moonoff. Moonoff just popped in the chat. Hello, Moonoff.
You're not talking about me.
Yeah.
Right. So
Troll versus the internet troll on the Tyson Paul undercard.
And I'm in. Let's go. Okay. So let's talk about what happened over the weekend because, whoo boy, after the round of 32 and 64, the public is now 38-13 ATS in the NCAA tournament. That's public side, according to Bet Labs. Now, where that information comes from.
Thank you, Evan.
Where that information is, I think this is all very debatable as to what the quote public side is, except bookmakers are crying. Whether that information is accurate or not, it doesn't matter because the bookmakers are getting absolutely killed. What are your friends around the world saying to you about what's happening currently in the dance?
The books that are moving the number, taking the bets, ain't that bad.
Okay.
You can kind of control, if you're gambling and you're gambling to the squares, to the Joes, not the pros, then,
Yeah, I've been taking dogs and I've been getting killed. Favorites went 15-1 straight up.
not good. Not good for the dog bettors. It's not good at all.
I bet dogs and I get killed. And then the
Not
only
the
favorite I bet yesterday was Baylor, and they lost.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like if you bet Marquette yesterday, you got the 4.5 and it fell 4. That's a bummer. That didn't cover, but the money line's all one right up there, straight up.
15-1 straight up. 15-1.
Those money line parlays roll
Holy crap! Did they ever?
pretty good. Like you put together any 6 other than the one that lost, and you win. So you kind of grade the games like the UFC on those nights when you got 12 fights,
Right.
11 favorites win, and you're like grading, and then you grade a fight, and then all of a sudden that exposure number goes up, and like I've been there, I've done it. Like you get to the end, and you're like, oh, we're gonna hit grade. This was gonna be a lot bigger. I mean, it says on the straight bets, which is like a 20-dime decision, but
I
if
feel
it
you,
goes
Cubby.
this way, it's gonna be boom.
Yeah, I feel you. Took a crowbar to the head.
Crowbar to the head.
I feel you. I mean, I had JMU yesterday plus 7.5. It lost by 38. I mean, again, I like that better.
Sometimes when you get spanked,
Just taking it. Yeah, I'm okay with taking a bullet to the head quick. Like, get me out of there. It's easy.
Right.
But I mean, look, the people are right now the money line parlay books. If you were talking about number of books and getting hit, I saw a $10 bet that won 22,000. Saw a $100 bet that won 75,000.
those are hard to overcome. when you're getting them big numbers like that on the other end with the low risk,
Yeah.
and those are tough days. But like it was a great football season for a lot of books. It was like they're fine.
Oh, of course they're fine.
It's going to be okay. But I mean, truthfully, there's days like this or weeks like this where back in the day, like when I was in Curacao, we went to work one day and a book that was in the office below us was gone. Like they just left. They got taken out. That's an expression in the business for those of you that may or may not know. Like they got taken out.
We're not talking about the Dayton game, Cubby. We're not talking about that game. I was so mad at that game.
Why?
Only game I lost.
Why?
Arizona won by 10.
Oh, yeah. What was the
Plus
spread?
plus 9.5.
Lost by half a point.
But they
You
were
won 3
fouling.
games last week
They
by
were
half a point.
fouling constantly. Like they were constant. The game was over. It kept on fouling. Kept on fouling.
Play
It's
to the end.
crazy. It was like, oh my God, it was nuts. All 1 and 2 seeds are alive in the Sweet 16. Good thing or bad thing?
Good thing.
Why?
Basketball's going to get good. Like the quality of the games are going to go up exponentially. And we had some good ones. Now we had some duds.
Of course, last night, JMU Duke. Last night, SMU
Dud.
Yale. Sorry, San Diego State Yale.
Dud.
There's been a bunch of blowouts, just
Dud.
absolute crushing blowouts. Purdue
Illinois
blowout.
destroyed Duquesne.
Illinois destroyed Duquesne. Like not even worth watching games. Just goes. I for the first time in a long time, I was watching other things. I wasn't watching basketball.
UConn do to Northwestern. My goodness.
UConn Northwestern. I mean, that's just 40-14 at the half. I mean, just go ahead and just destroy. I mean, yeah, Covey, Houston. If you laid the points with Houston, how about Houston in the first half? I didn't bet it, but I almost did. It's an absolute cash cow. Nope, that didn't come in. Houston didn't cover that number.
Yeah,
it's crazy. The last couple of minutes of these games have been just absolutely wacko and really hard to follow. I'm going to say this though: what makes March Madness awesome are the upsets, and only having one double-digit seed, North Carolina State, alive in the Sweet 16 is it going to be a very big test for everybody who has always said that the public wants the best teams to make it to the 8 and 4 in the title game.
Oh, people are going to watch. A lot of people have futures alive. A lot of people
I know, but
vested.
But people have said for a long time that there's been this argument. All my argument's always been is the magic of the tournament is the little guy winning
The first weekend.
Correct. But then he gets to the second weekend and he has a chance to make a deep run. George Mason, Bradley, not Bradley, Butler, excuse me.
Loyola Chicago.
Loyola Chicago, right? Yeah, all of those things, all those small school stuff that make runs to the Final Four, and San Diego State to the title game last year. We don't have any of that. We don't have any of that this year. It's because NC State won the ACC tournament. Like, that's not a little guy. That's a big guy. It was cold, got hot. They can't lose. They won 7 games in a row. So
worried for NC State.
Smacked.
I'm worried for them.
Bubble. Bye-bye. See you later.
Wow, you did that perfect.
That's going to be
up.
Yeah, bye-bye, bubble. Right NC State is no, you're not sticking around. Marquette's going to curb stomp them. Whoa. But, man, there were some good games. And led by the Creighton double overtime win over Oregon, which nearly put me in the grave. Like, nearly ended my life. I think I watched. I'm going
to cheer you up for a second because I got to bet hats over. Whoever bet hats over.
Look at
this is inspired by Joe C. Myers, Sergeant First Class. I'm not a big camo guy, but that's a camo bill.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And that's a green and I got a couple more here. Like, this is a real camo look. This is for the kids. I think the camo they like this one. I don't know if I like it or not. Hold on, I gotta change this.
Say, what's going on with the hat?
Well, the kids were trying it on because they were like, they loved it. They were like, yeah, I think we might have to partake in this one. Look at this thing. Look at that. The V's like a shadow black V with the green and the shadow thing.
I would have greened out. The only thing I would have changed to that is I would have greened out the $sign.
Yeah, well, it would have been too prominent is the way we decide. But we can play with these if you like these camo collection.
I would make the green more prominent, like I'd make the $sign a bit more prominent.
Look at this one. This is for
that's an American. That's a Captain America version.
Absolutely red, white, blue.
Yeah, that's pretty
camo
cool.
Hat
collection. That's actually a really cool July 4th hat. We should probably keep that. We should keep that model. We should absolutely do a July 4th and sell that for July 4th.
We're making some more of these. You can text the text line at that, but that'll make you feel better because you were a mess. I was home alone on Saturday night. Jessica took your daughter, little P, and went up to the bowling with my daughters. You were home alone, and I knew you were home alone.
Perfect. It was great.
I was home alone. It was great. But when that big guy hit that shot, Kalkbrenner hit that 3. I woke up the neighborhood. The dog was running around in circles like, Daddy, why did you just yell? That was an exciting basketball game, P-Roll. But you literally died like a cat. Like you used 8 lives.
I thought they had lost, and I thought, okay, they're not going to win this game. They're down 4. It's like, man, this stinks. Got fortunate, missed free throws. End of the game, shot goes up. Baylor Shireman ties the game. 8 seconds left. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna suck. It's like, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. Misses the shot. First overtime. Are you kidding me? First overtime? What is going on? This is nuts. Okay. End of the first overtime. Here we go.
You go back and watch the clip with Teddy when Teddy was on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You were paying on Friday.
I didn't bet it.
Thinking about this game.
Yeah, I didn't bet it for that reason. I was like, I want no part of it. I was like, I'm not betting it. I would have bet Oregon, but I want no part of it because I feel if anybody bet Oregon, you thought, oh, I'm good. Plus 6.5, plus 5.5. I'm awesome. I'm good. This is going to be tremendous. Here comes Oregon, down by 3. I'm like, okay, the Jays make. Kid hits a shot from Fremont, Nebraska. I was like, you got to be kidding.
Local reference.
Yeah, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Kid drills it. Tie game, 71-71. Okay, here comes Trey Alexander. Loses the basketball. Gathers, has a wide open shot to win the game. Puts it up. Loses. Misses a shot. I go, they're losing this game. That was it. I came in. I bet against my future against the Creighton Blue Jays. Right then and there, I go, that's it. They lose double overtime. They're losing this game. That's it. They had their shot. They blew it. It's over. Blah, blah, blah. Bam. Hammer the other side. Took a plus 130 or 120 on Oregon money line.
120, you told me that.
Yeah, 120. Hammered it on 120 to go against my future.
At that moment where I was like, I wonder if Maddie's still with my kids. So I texted my wife first. And I said, "Do you still have Maddie?" And she said, "No." He picked her up, and I was like, "Oh." So she
No,
said,
you guys
"Home
dropped.
right-"
You guys. I mean, your middle Cosig dropped her off the house.
Oh,
Thankfully.
oh, well, whatever happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." So she's home. She's probably scared because
Oh, she was more than scared because I'm pacing, and she's just like, "Daddy." She's like, "Are you going to do this the whole game?" I was like, "Madeline, it's double overtime. It's Creighton." She's like, "I know it's Creighton." It was double overtime. I'm flipping out. I'm chasing around, placing around. Now they're up by 3, starting to breathe a little bit. When that ball went to Cockburn on top of the key, I'm sorry, Will. I thought to myself, "There's no fucking way he's shooting that ball. There's no way there's no way that Coach McDermott," and I texted Mac this morning and I was like, "I know you're crazy busy, but if you come on the show at any time, I have to ask you about Ryan's shot because I need him to tell me what he actually thought of the shot when it went up. Because you're up by 3. You don't need a 3.
No.
Just like Ali Farouk-Manesh with you and I up by 1 against Kansas.
Right.
Dribble the ball out. Get fouled. Go to the free throw line. You don't need a 3.
Right.
Ali rises up. Bang. Thank you very much. Game over.
Yeah.
Cockburn did the same thing.
Yeah.
Rise up. 7'2". Bam. I mean, I did it all on my Instagram stories.
Teardrop too. It went up and it just went right down.
Through. I mean, I documented the whole thing because I was so nervous. I took the cigar that we got from Steve. I had to have a drink, smoked a cigar, had to calm down. I knew I was going to be a mess. And then I wound up just like pacing around the house the entire game. It didn't work all that well. And then it goes to overtime, double overtime. And somehow the Creighton Blue Jays wind up winning the game, which is amazing. The other game was
cover every number.
I mean, if you were on Oregon, you had to just fall down going like, "You got to be kidding me." They won by double digits. How did they win by double digits? They covered the teaser numbers. They covered everything.
They covered every single number. Like I was getting texts from people that had Oregon. Do you remember a worse loss than this? Like I was like, "Man, this is a long time for me. I've been in this
bad
place,
loss.
man.
It's
It was
a
a
bad
bad loss. That was a bad. They were leading for 46 minutes of a game that was played for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
There was 40 and then 5 and 5. You led getting 5.5, 6 for 46 of those minutes.
You felt good.
Oh my goodness.
You felt good. Then last night, Houston, I don't know what they did in the last minute 30.
I don't know what that was.
How do you blow that? That game was covered. Everything was good. You bet Houston, you were good.
I spent the whole day yesterday with my guy making all these hats.
Okay.
The kids came down and met him, and Jess came, and even she said, "Wow, this guy's like an artist." I said, "I told you." And we closed the joint. The mall closed, and everybody's starving. I said, "Let's go to Texas Roadhouse and have dinner."
Good bread.
We went to Texas Roadhouse, and we're sitting there, and this game is on, and it's a blowout. Houston's winning easy. And even Jess looked over and said, "Wow, both these games are blowouts, huh?" And I'm like, "Well, they are right now." I said, "Just, we'll see." And so after what we were sitting on Friday night, all of us, they're interested in the end game. They like to know what the line is now. So I pulled the app and I'm like, "Wow, this is 11.5 Houston." I don't know if they're going to cover that, but we'll see. So we got engrossed in that. And how in the hell did that get to overtime?
Don't know. Missed free throws, big threes. I mean, that 3 at the buzzer was insanity. Guy who doesn't take threes gets a rolling basketball off his foot, rises up, falling backwards.
Bam!
And that's March right there. That's March. That's what that was. That was just March. That was an unbelievable
Were you rooting
shot.
for Texas A&M at that point?
Of course. I have a Marquette future. Of course.
Wow.
Like, get Houston out of this tournament. Like, this would be tremendous to have them get beat. I was in love with that. Now I need Duke to do me the favor. I need Duke to knock out Houston.
Right.
Be phenomenal. I need Houston gone. Houston against Marquette's a bad matchup. I don't like Marquette's chances against Houston.
They ain't there yet.
Right, but Marquette's winning against NC State, and then Houston's going to beat Duke, and then they're playing.
Are they?
Yes, that's the bracket for the Final Four.
Houston's just going to beat Duke like that's done?
I don't think it's done, but I don't trust Duke to win, but I need Duke to win. I don't trust them. Like I'm in a really interesting spot. I'm in a spot where I don't need to bet very much anymore in this tournament.
Oh,
Like I can just sit back and watch this thing play out.
kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, I don't
Once
need
it's
to.
done.
I don't need to bet all that much. I need to just
Right.
see what's going to happen, and I can add to my position on different spots as I go. But I don't need to bet individual games all that much, which I love, which I'm really lucky. I'm lucky on that I don't have to do that at the moment. So I'm not going to bet the Duke, and other than cheering for Duke, not going to bet the Marquette game, cheering for Marquette. I'm not going to bet the Creighton Tennessee games, cheering for Creighton. I think North Carolina is going to beat Alabama. And then I think, I don't have anything really going until Iowa State, Illinois.
You see these numbers though, right?
I bet under already. The only game I bet so far, I bet under an Iowa State in Illinois already.
Under what, 140?
147.
Okay, 146. Yeah, it is now. Okay.
Yeah. So I took the under in that game already.
Open
148.
What spread surprised you the most? I mean, real quick, Iowa State's -2 against Illinois. UConn's 11 or 10.5.
I told you it's the Creighton, Tennessee line.
Hold on. Alabama, North Carolina is 4, which it was 4 against Michigan State. You're telling me it's the same?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not sure about that. Arizona 7.5 against Clemson, and that's only going up.
Right.
Purdue's 5 against the Zags, 5.5 in some leans.
Look out, Purdue.
Creighton and Tennessee, we were doing it Saturday night, but now that I know that you were drinking and smoking cigars, you're really in no condition to do
What
the
do you mean?
line.
I had a drink and one cigar.
Yeah, but you were
sober.
emotionally spent.
Well, that's true. I told you that. I was emotionally, mentally, physically exhausted into that game.
You couldn't even barely get 2 sentences together. Tennessee -2.5, 3 right now. Marquette 6.5, and
Yes.
Houston 4. Put in the chat right now what line surprises you the most, whether it's too high, too low, because I know why Houston's only 4. Duke is live, P-Roll.
Oh, I think they are. I mean, look, you win by
Super
38 points against anybody in college basketball in the tournament. Yes, you're live. Of course, you're live.
Madison likes this one. Look at that.
I would love, again, Marquette against Duke. Sign me up. I'm in. I'm in. Marquette can take out Duke. Marquette against Houston? Not a fan.
Man. Marquette looks like they got the pedigree. I mean, they are, whoo, man, that Big East. Still, I mean, UConn is the best team.
All 3 teams from the Big East are alive in the Sweet 16. The Mountain West Conference got 6 teams in. They got 1 left. Not a good showing for the Mountain West at all. Not a good showing for the committee at all. And a whole lot of ammo for everybody in the Big East, including Dan Hurley and everyone, Kim English, everybody that went public about.
Why isn't it a good showing for the committee?
Because they put 6 teams in versus 3 teams in. 3 of the 6 teams are in the Sweet 16 from the Big East, and 1 from the Mountain West are left.
So they should have put in another Big East team or 2?
Yeah, 100%.
I hope Seton Hall wins the NIT.
Mountain West got exposed. Well, you know who they're playing, though, right?
Oh, they're playing UNLV now. Oh, are you serious? That was
UNLV.
A nice by UNLV.
Beating BC at home. Yep, they're on to the quarterfinals. Then the winner goes to Hinkle Fieldhouse in the Final Four. So yeah, Seton Hall plays UNLV. It sucks. I was really pissed off about that because I feel the same way. It's like Seton Hall, go win it. It'd be awesome.
It's only 3.5. Wow.
Yeah. And did you see where Seton Hall is playing their games?
No.
They're playing it on campus in a bandbox where the women play. It's tiny.
Really?
It's like this big. It's so small. It's one of those gyms where they have the workout, the school gym with the glasses, the glass.
Oh, nice.
You can look down on the court.
That's
like it's
awesome.
one of those. It's a rec center essentially. It's like your school. It's like Penn State's rec center is what it's like.
Oh, really?
It's tiny. Yeah, massive home court advantage for Seton Hall. Monster home court advantage. No fun for UNLV to walk into that hornet's nest. That's old school, like America East type college basketball. It's going to be wild to watch and see how that goes out.
ACC 4 of the 5 in the Sweet 16.
Yep. Very impressive.
Thank you, CBW. Signed Syracuse. I'm
Clemson,
working on
and
I'm working
Clemson's-
on a hat for CBW. You take an orange hat or a blue base?
I would do straight orange with all white BVB with a green dollar sign.
For Syracuse?
Or you can do
Oh,
blue.
blue?
Or you do a blue V. Do
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
White B's, blue V.
Let's see if we get some Syracuse love. If you guys want to invent one, come up with something. Just text the text line. That's good. I'm impressed. Listen, I am impressed with the 16. Like, I looked at these matchups, and when I was watching the games a little bit yesterday, I was trying to do the number. Like, I was like, boy, this is tight. This is 4 or less. This is 4.
Well, I mean, it was pissing me off. Yeah, it pissed me off because I said it's going to be a chalky tournament.
You
I
did?
didn't bet, but I didn't bet it. I didn't bet it that way.
What do you mean? You got 6 futures alive.
Oh,
That's good.
right. Yeah, fine. It's 1v5, 2v3, 1v9, 6v2, 2v3, 1v5, 2v11, and 1 versus 4. Like, that's chalky. Do you think we wind up with 4 1 seeds in the final 4?
No.
I don't either. Who's the one that loses?
Put that in a poll right now. Let somebody vote before we get out of here for Sports Grid. Let's put the people up a vote. There's a bunch of people that have been sitting in this chat. Thank you guys very much for hanging with us. Is it all 1s and 2s? Is it all 1s and 2s?
Well, I'm going to say which 1 seed loses.
Oh.
I'm going to put up that.
You can't put 4 options.
Yes, I can.
You can put 4 options in the poll?
Yeah.
I thought it was only 2.
Oh, no, I can do 4.
You forget how to do the poll. It's
No. Purdue, Houston, UNC. Who's the 4th one? Who's the 4th 1 seed?
UNC and UConn.
UConn. Thank you. That's just a Freudian forget.
Yeah.
To not want to have to deal with UConn. UConn on that. It's me not wanting
Look
to
at that poll.
remember. That's what she
I
said.
voted already. That's quick and easy for me. I already know.
Houston. Dave Pick says Houston's. I think that's possible. Purdue is not a wagon. UConn's a wagon. Purdue's not a wagon. I don't get the Purdue love. I haven't bought it.
They won by like 100 points yesterday against Utah State.
It's Utah State. It's Mountain West Conference. Whoopee. Like, I don't know. I just, I'm not impressed. I'm just not like, everyone's in love with Purdue. I think Purdue loses.
I just looked down at the chat. Munaf said, I love Dave's reactions when he learns something new every day. LOL. No, Munaf. I got to see that tattoo on Friday. I literally learned that on the show.
Oh, that tells like what?
That one was like, oh.
This is a new name. Erica's
not worst.
Not worst. Yeah.
E. Look at this. So E probably would have. Yeah, he popped up that graphic, right?
Yeah.
That was on the live show.
Yep.
Popped up that Mount Worst graphic.
I mean, look, everyone is making this equation, right? 19 Virginia to 2024 Purdue.
Oh, Nikki.
I mean, that's what this. I mean, it's not crazy. He's not nuts. I mean, a lot of people are making that. I've
Nikki.
seen numerous people are saying that. I said that it could be the case, but I don't buy it. I mean,
they got Gonzaga. I think they got the hardest game.
This game on Saturday, we'll break this down. Love against North Carolina, Arizona against North Carolina for their Final Four. You want to talk about storylines? That's a story. That's an awesome storyline with Caleb Love in Arizona going up against North Carolina. That's going to be super fun if that ends up happening.
Clemson can't beat Arizona?
Clemson can't beat Arizona? No, I don't believe
Think
so. I don't say can't, but cover, yes. But I don't think so. Yeah, see, I told you. I said under. I told you that. I said when you asked that question, under. I said it should be single digits. I thought 12 was way too high. I thought it should have been 8 or 9. 12.5 seemed very high. So, yes, Clemson is a sleeper, Covey. Absolutely. But here's the thing. They are, but when you switch venues, I've seen this, okay? You switch venues, you cool off. Okay? You get to that Sweet 16, travel, new venue, water finds its level. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know, bro.
Water finds its level. Okay?
I think the Zags can beat Purdue, and I think
I know that can
Arizona.
Happen. They already played. Remember, they played in Hawaii. They played Gonzaga and Purdue.
What was the result?
I think Purdue outlasted them in the second half.
Somebody put it in the chat.
I think. Hold on.
What was the result of the Purdue game? But that was in Hawaii.
It was in Hawaii. And it wasn't on Maui, remember, because they couldn't go because of the wildfires. 73-63.
Who won?
Purdue.
Okay.
But it was a tie game at halftime.
So we got a rematch?
Yeah. They've played already this
With
year.
the Zags?
And the Zags weren't the Zags.
That's we weren't.
The Zags weren't the Zags. So,
Holy crap. JC from KC, who's smoking hot right now, said his rhythm bracket has NC State advancing.
Yeah, I don't see that.
That would be pretty big upset.
Pissed me off beyond all belief.
Don't get mad.
I would not be happy about that. I'll lose my future, but not to NC State. Not like that.
What do you mean? That's a fun team. That game against Oakland, I was torn.
Burns is a
torn.
Wild guy to watch. His footwork's incredible for a guy of that size. For you guys who are live with us on YouTube and on Twitter, do not move. If you're with us on SiriusXM or you're with us on Sports Grid, thank you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Tomorrow, we're back for a Tuesday. We'll get more into baseball tomorrow during the show on Sirius and Sports Grid. For you guys who are live, you get bonus time. All right, we got a ton of things to do. We kind of got off the freeway today, went on to a whole different route. So I'll do choose your own adventure for you. You want to do football or baseball? Which do you want to do?
Now, you've known me for how long?
A long time. I'm going to choose. Do you want to do football or baseball?
What do you think the line would be if you asked me that question in March? It ain't even a question.
Well, you said you've not done any. You've not done any work.
We can do both because the football discussion is very easy, quick. Do that one first.
It's quick. It's actually, I think it's long.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's significant. Why? It has massive implications in betting. It has massive implications. This changes that. If they're going to flag this for real, if they're actually going to flag this new hip,
I'm watching football.
Hip drop. If they're going to flag 15 yards for a hip drop.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what breaking news. Tackling banned from Javon Holland. JJ Watt. Just fast forward to the belts with flags on them. I mean, these are significant comments from current and former players who are furious at what the NFL is trying to accomplish here by banning something that really is, it's tackling. Now, guys get hurt with this type of tackle, but this is tackling. This is not an illegal act. This is not a horse collar. This is tackling that we're now going to ban.
This sucks.
It sucks. Absolutely sucks. And there's a big problem, I think, because when and how are they going to flag this? Because they flag it in a big moment when if I have to make a tackle, my job as a defender is to get you on the ground in any way I know how.
Taking you down.
And if I have to think about, well, I'm going to tackle you, but like I can't tackle you this way and I can't do that. So I have to run around and get in front of you to pull you. This is not football.
Thank you.
This is not football.
This is not football.
This is actually, I was thinking about this today. This is like telling a boxer that I can punch you anywhere but your nose. So like I can hit you, but I can't hit you in the nose. That's wrong. But I can hit you anywhere else. So I have to think about something. They're just punching you. I got to make sure I punch you in the right way. This is a sport that's played in a blink of an eye with massive human beings who are huge, fast, and really hard to tackle. I don't.
You almost had that pause. They're big and they're fast and really hard to tackle. I just saying, you did a dramatic pause when you said it. I'm like, finish the sentence before the chat gets you.
Bet all the overs.
Oh, when I saw this and I saw a video that Shefty posted.
Right. Yeah. Saying what actually is wrong. I was like, that's not a tackle. He couldn't do anything about that.
I said, now you've over legislated the game to the point, like we don't have enough flags
right
during the games. It's not hard enough to be an official. Now I have to determine, wait, he did that hip tackle thing. That's a flag. Oh yeah. That looked like a regular tackle, but that was, it's too much. It's too much. I don't like it at all. There's nothing.
It's so subjective too. It's such a great point. It's like hip drop when you name all the tackles now like WWE moves. I think he's right. Like, how do we know exactly what is a hip drop tackle?
I don't. I saw the video. I mean, I guess we'll guess when we see it. But if I'm a ref,
here's what's going to be. It's going to be done based upon the injury of a player. The only way they're going to call it is if a guy gets hurt.
That's not the way you officiate the game.
I agree. I agree.
A trip is a trip in hockey, whether the guy slips and falls into the boards and has to leave the game, or he goes down and gets right back up.
Yep.
A penalty is a penalty is a penalty.
Yep.
But now it's not. This is bad. I don't like any of it.
No, it's a joke. It's a complete and utter joke. So we'll watch how it plays out, but I feel bad for defenders. I really do. All right. I made 2 bets last night, and I'm going to bring up a couple of different games in our teams each day here. Okay. We'll get into it. All right. So I'm going to Chicago to watch the Cubs in person.
You bet the Cubs. Bet the Cubs.
Cubs win total over 83.5. Here's my thought. Okay. Think about this. Okay.
You bet over?
Yes. Over 83.5. Okay?
All right. This is good.
Here's why.
Yep.
1, when you hire a guy like Craig Counsell and you make him the highest paid manager in baseball, you aren't going to send him into a gunfight with a knife. You're going to want to equip him. Okay. So the Cody Bellinger signing, I think, is only the first signing of what's going to happen in the future. I think they're going to be a player at the deadline.
Yeah.
To go and get a bat.
Okay.
You need Steele to be the version of him last year to do it again or get better at the top of the rotation. Not in love with their bullpen, but I think it's good enough. And the division sucks.
Blasphemy that you said this.
It is, but the division sucks.
Sucks compared to what? They're all their season wins are all within 10 of each other.
But if the Cubs are they better? If the Cubs are the heads and tails better team, they should beat up on the division.
Maybe.
No, you did not. World Series. Holy mother.
Wow.
I'm not going that far. I think they win the division.
Did you do that under the influence?
No.
Or were you just
no, I like this
Cubs for God's sake. Jimmy.
Look, I think the Cubs are going to be a story. Look, the Red Sox aren't going to be a story. Red Sox and Cubs have always been kind of kindred spirits.
Yeah.
I'm going to go watch the Cubs in person. Okay. I like the Bellinger signing a lot. And I think that, David Ross didn't get picked up by anybody. No one even sniffed at him. They're like, yeah, go by. And I love David Ross. He won a World Series with the Red Sox. But I think having a new manager, having a new voice, sometimes the team responds really well to it. And Craig Counsell coming in, he knows what the heat's going to be. Every game against the Brewers is going to be the World Series.
Next game up on MLB Network is the Cubs game. There's
good.
The lineup right there. Happ, Suzuki, Bellinger. Chris Morel's playing third, batting fourth. Stansby, Swanson fifth. Nico Horner sixth. Oh wow, Happ seventh. Okay, the lineup looks like
decent.
They're going to score runs.
They need one more bat. They need a big bat. They need another guy in the middle of the lineup, which I think they could be in market for a rental or something like that to come in and help them win. I think they win 85, 86 games. I do.
Did Iggy put you up to this?
Not at all. No. I like the Cubs. I do. I like
me. Iggy wants to come on the show and talk about the Cubs.
Okay, he should. I like the Cubs. I do. I like the Cubs weekend. I love the Cubs, and I'm going to that weekend to watch them play. So I obviously was like, all right, what am I going to see? And I was like, what's their win total? 83.5, 84, 84.5, depending on what book you look at. And I was like, I was like, they won 82 games last year.
Right.
So, and that was with David Ross, who they hated. Supposedly they completely hated the guy. So now they're bringing Craig Counsell, a legitimate manager, a guy who has won. He's won in the division, and he sure as hell knows the Brewers.
Yeah.
So he knows who he's going to be going up against. So I don't know. I like the Cubs, and I like the Cubs to potentially be a big player at the deadline to make a big move and have a big second half of the year. So banking on that.
Right there last year.
Yep.
It's just, the last 2 weeks of the season, no good. I'm just playing along a little bit, but I'm hoping the Pirates are better, but I really like Cincinnati in a division to win a division.
Okay.
It's going to be between those two. I'm not sold on St. Louis just making a jump back to be.
I'm not sold on the Reds either, though. Reds won the most one-run games in baseball last year.
I know.
They won
That's smart
34,
pitch.
but they lost 29 of them.
Yes.
The difference is the second bet. Under 78.5 for the Miami Marlins.
Oh.
Under. They went 33-14 last year in one-run games.
One-run games, yeah.
They
Correct.
won 84 games last year.
Yep.
I bet the Marlins win total last 2 years over. Went 1-1. 2 years ago I lost it. Last year I won it. They're not going to win 33 one-run games this year. It's going to flip. They did nothing in free agency. They're going to bank on their kids, and they're playing.
You've got all the Fish fans excited. Like you got them now. Covey's getting excited.
Sorry.
He's yelling at us in the all caps. I love it. He's getting
I'm sorry.
Start on my Fish. He said,
You're going to fade. The Marlins are going to be a fade all year. The Marlins are not going to win a bunch.
March 25th.
They just are. They're going to be a fade. I love their pitching. They're an under machine team. They're going to be 5.5 or 6 total every game. They're going to go under a ton because they aren't going to score.
You see, they're going to allow bands and stuff in there now. It's going to create a whole new festive atmosphere. You're going to have a home field advantage again.
Should allow like every fucking person in for free. They can know what's going. I mean, you're going to allow people in. Why even charge for tickets? Just let them all in. Like, just let people in.
Sports Talk.
People still wouldn't go.
Send it to him.
People still wouldn't go. Get free tickets. They still wouldn't go to a Marlins game in Miami. So yeah, go have a festive atmosphere all you want. I like the Marlins, but you're talking Sandy's out. No Sandy. Okay, you got no Sandy.
Yeah.
So you got 3 good pitchers. I love Braxton. They got guys. I mean, they've got pitchers at the top of the lineup that are good, but they don't score any runs.
It's going to be a lot of unders in those games.
Regression is coming. Okay, for that team, regression is coming. Under 78.5 wins.
Yeah,
better to book it.
Oh, I'm leaning that way.
No Sandy, no Cito, or no Cabrera. They got 3 of their best pitchers are all out for the year. Under. Luzardo's great. I love Luzardo. He's tremendous, but they don't score any runs. Big problem.
Yeah. I mean, I had a guy who hit almost 400 last year.
Yeah, right?
With a score. He's on base a lot.
Yeah. Big regression coming.
Football guy 97. Keep it on the road. Almost wrecked my car with that comment. Calm down. Congratulations to his daughter, by the way. They won the state championship.
All right.
They got
That's
it done.
tremendous.
Yeah.
Chris Brady said bet Dodgers under. All right. Twins over. Marlins over.
Twins
over. Mariners over.
Brady, Twins over.
Dodgers. I think the Dodger number is right. I think you're going to be sweating that the last week of the season. I don't want any part of that Agita going through all that.
Even if this guy gets suspended.
I mean, even with they're winning 100 games. It's just a matter of how many games over. Even with or without Otani, they're winning 100 games. Like, just start there with 100. And how many more games are going to win after 100? Is my question. Yes, Yuri Perez is phenomenal. Under. 3-2 loss every game. That's what it's going to be. Bullpen. He'll leave the game in the 6th inning with a 2-2, and the bullpen will give up a run in the 3rd inning or in the 8th inning. They'll lose 3-2 every game. That's what the Marlins year is going to be all year long. First 5 under, like we bet it last year. First 5 under, game under.
Right. Yep.
I mean, it's going to be just, rinse and repeat when it comes to Marlins games. I can't wait to see what the books are going to put up for totals. It's going to be 4.5 in some of these damn games. They don't score. I'm kidding, but they don't score.
By the way, you see this poll, which number 1 seed loses? Do you see which one won?
Purdue.
Yeah, but it's close between Purdue and Houston.
Ooh, I think people think Duke's going to win.
You do?
Yeah, I think Duke's going to be a heavy public side. It's Duke.
Wow, I thought the Zags would be the most the number 1 seed loss opponent. Picked the most, the Zags. First thought. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I can't believe you just besmirched the Miami Marlins like that.
It's not hard to do. I mean, come on. That's like punching down.
Coming, baby. I'm so excited.
Coming fast, too.
Great.
Time for Bet It or Book It. All right, real fast. Only one game. Brooklyn at Toronto under 215.5. I got hammered here. I don't know what the hell happened. This number opened at 217 overnight. Dropped immediately at 215.5. Overnight, reopened. 220 has been bet up to, what is it, 222 now?
220.
220. No idea where it went, how, what.
I don't know why you bet this game.
Because the Toronto Raptors are 6 straight to the under. They're 9-23 to the under at home. Raptors are an under machine.
Dear Lord.
Under. And Brooklyn doesn't score.
This is a principle. These teams are terrible. As Newbie would say on cash considerations, these are pee-pee, poo-poo, caca, shit. Like, I don't want anything to do with this. Is a bet over. 2 bad teams. Give me the over. Good luck. I say book it.
I can't believe. There you go. Bet under 220. Nice job. But I have the worst number on the planet. 215.5 is the worst number.
This is when you win, though.
Okay. This is the worst number on the planet.
You win these a lot of times when you have the wrong side bet-wise number, the bad number. This is when you win.
All right, we'll see under how far it goes under.
I can't believe you picked that game.
What else am I going to pick? Every game sucks on the board. It's horrible. Awful night in sports.
The hockey games weren't good.
Awful night in sports. Chef Benny giving a thank you for all the hats you did for him over the weekend.
Thank you.
That. 1 star, Gorov. Hey, guys, wish I could have made it up for the live shows, but work drama made it difficult. Smooth jazz, civil war impending, unfortunately. Interesting. Can't wait for the next live show, though. Love the brigade. BVB to the moon. Thank you, Gordon. We appreciate Gorov. We appreciate that. For 1 star. Addison, no sweat, $10 bet. What NCAA future bet should I play? I have Marquette 30-1, Iowa State 23-1 in the pocket. Great live shows last week. Love the brigade. I think there's value on Tennessee.
Opposite sides of the bracket, which is good.
Yep. I think there's value on North Carolina for you. There's value on Clemson for you. There's value on Tennessee for you.
Yeah, it's got to be the 1 or the 2 in the Midwest or the 1 or the 2 in the West.
Yeah, you want 10-1 or higher.
Probably be the next purchase.
Tennessee
Who do you think is going to win that region?
I mean, Creighton, you take Creighton if you want to. I mean, Jay's probably going to give you. They were 23-1 early today.
Yeah, I'm worried for Creighton against.
Of course,
Tennessee.
yes, of course.
Very worried about that.
Who's guarding Dalton Connect?
I don't know.
It's gonna be Baylor. Baylor's gonna have to stop doing hero ball.
Boy, I don't know. I'm worried about it. I looked at that.
Best player on the floor for the Jays has got to be Kalkbrenner. If it's Kalkbrenner, they win because they had no answer for him. They don't have size.
They got to feed him.
Yeah, they got away from it. They got away from it in the second half, big time.
They sure did.
Couldn't figure out why.
Checking to see if he was on the floor.
Yeah, I think he got tired. I mean, I think he was getting dominated down low. The big kid for Oregon was tremendous. He was awesome. Scored like 30, didn't he?
How about that line, Dante's Inferno? Dante
was unbelievable. That was a good line.
Man.
Crushed on his head multiple times, and then his little shimmy will be laughed at for years by the Creighton Blue Jays.
Oh man,
can't do that shimmy and lose, dude. You can't do that. Can't lose by double digits. Can't do that shimmy and lose by double digits.
They got hurt. They ran out. It was like
it don't matter. It don't look good when you shimmy and lose. I'm sorry. I
mean, sometimes when you shimmy, you look good. Period. But
that may appear on one shining moment, but that's not one of your best deals. In JPC the 4th, Dave, after listening to your daughters on Friday, you were the modern day Al Bundy. He scored 4 touchdowns for Polk High. I'm sure you scored 4 goals. I salute you for swimming upstream in a river of estrogen.
Woo, man, there ain't no lifeboats in that ocean of estrogen. I can tell you that. Every day is like that. You said it. Is every day like this? Yes, every day is like this. Kendall came in hot.
She did.
10. She was hangry. I didn't realize how hungry she was because her sister didn't feed her.
Okay.
So
came in all pissed off.
Okay. Her and Maddie just watched the 2 of them together. I mean, we sat there and watched those games on Friday. They didn't even know we were there.
Nope.
They were in the same booth with us.
That's phenomenal. Favorite thing about today is what?
One, all the hats.
Yeah.
I had so much fun making them and getting them out this morning to the guys that ordered them, the girls that ordered them. I sent to 6 different states this morning to places. Yeah. It was incredible. The girl was like, "You're sending these all over the country?" I said, "Yes." Yeah, there's people listening all over, but it was awesome. 6 different states got hats. Yeah, Kendall calling Dave dude was hilarious. It was funny. JC from KC. But that was number one, my favorite thing about today. Number two, today is Brother Dan's birthday. Brother Dan turns 52 today, and I got to talk to him briefly before the show and told him he would be my favorite thing about today. The phone calls that you make on someone's birthday are so important, boys and girls, but don't wait until their birthday to call them. If you're thinking of them, just call them, send them a text. We got some people that I reached out to over the weekend that saw the live shows and said, man, I love your guys' show. What is it again exactly? I said, just watch the show. I went to the t-shirt guy this morning. I said, I need a shirt, 2 shirts. One that says always forward, never straight. 2, just watch the show. BVB. That's, I mean, the mission statements are pretty much those 2 things right there. The next iteration, I said, where can you put Matt, your picks suck? Because I don't know, those things might jump off the shelves. Although the billboard idea,
let's do it. I want it done.
I swear that might actually end up being a monster.
I want to do it. I want to get a whole brigade, get everybody underneath, and have a big brigade thing.
And have Eric shoot it like like we could put out a thing. They love it. There's some people on social media to be looking for it. They would get.
Oh my God, looking for it. They'd be hunting it. They'd be retweeting it and making it into T-shirts. It'd be tremendous. It'd be. I'm making it into a T-shirt, like a picture of P-roll. Your picks suck with a big T-shirt. I love it. I want to do it. It'd be phenomenal. Absolutely would love it. 100%. I would love it. Before this is a little bit lengthy, but I want to say it because I found it to be really fascinating. So oftentimes we've talked a lot about men and having spaces, and people say, you guys talk about things honestly and talk about what happens in your life. So in our founding documents, the pursuit of happiness is in our founding documents as a country. It's interesting that we put that in there when there's been a study that came out that Americans are some of the most unhappy people in the world. Yet we have all of these things that create connections that aren't real. And what happened over the weekend, or Thursday and Friday leading into BBB weekend, the happiness I saw on people's faces, the people that were in the brigade that connected to each other, I thought was such an unbelievable, pure thing. And I was like, that's what this is. Like, that's what makes this different. Like, that's what separates this show from any other show I've ever done before, is that people are trying to be happy. They're trying to find happiness in so many things, and talking to different people about what this show has brought to their lives and the happiness the show has brought to their lives. I just thought to myself, like, man, I don't know how to bottle this. I don't know how to take this and take this somewhere to like just show people, but like hearing real accounts from people about, hey, this show really makes me happy. Knowing how unhappy so many people are in their lives and looking for something that brings them happiness. The fact that you and me can do this for 2 hours a day was like, that's my favorite thing about today. It's so good.
We saw it. I mean, Ochoa and Roger Long, 2 people, one from Escondido, California, and one from Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yeah.
They ain't never seen each other ever before. They talk like long lost friends. It was awesome. It was awesome to see. And people like Zach O'Shea did a flyby, brought his dad.
Yeah.
Came by. And there's Chef Benny. And how about all the people who weren't there who bummed out? But you were there.
You were there in spirit.
In spirit, watching the show.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's become. That. It's a great description.
It just hit me like I was staring at everybody afterwards now, just kind of like, it's such an interesting thing because we as Americans, we're constantly looking for that happiness. We're constantly trying to find that happiness, and like that our show can be just a 2-hour little window into someone's day to bring a smile and get them off their whatever they're dealing with. It's tremendous. It's just, it's easily my favorite thing about today. Nice. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. We're back tomorrow, same place, same time, live. And then the replay tonight. He's Dave. I am Matt. BVB on a Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.